Alright, let me start this off by saying the things I always say. I am not a car expert. I don't know everything when it comes to the technicalities of the vehicles, but I appreciate cars. I love cars. I enjoy driving them. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are like me that just want to see a vehicle close up. And what I do is I like to give you this raw review, let you enjoy, soak up, the views, and of course also talk about the tech and the features are in the car. So, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at is this. This is the key. It's nice and weighty, almost feels like it's one of those plasma lighters, but you've got this Lamborghini logo in front of you. And I guess if you wanted to, you could like put it between your knuckles and you could punch someone, stamp the Lamborghini logo on their foreheads. This is what the Huracan looks like. If you take a look at the bottom left, specifically the LP610-4. What we're going to do is we're going to start from the front. We're going to walk around the vehicle. You can see that this is in this metallic brown, and if I get close, maybe we can try to get that speckle, that shiny speckle. Can you see that? So we've also got those orange trims. If we go to the front, this is what the vehicle looks like. You've of course also got, daytime running lights. The headlamps themselves, of course, have these LEDs over here, again for daytime. Then you've got these magnified lights over here, and of course, for full beam too. And interestingly enough, you can control them with a button that is on your steering wheel. Now, if we go to the front and we look down, we'll see that we don't have a front-facing camera. I think this is one of the things that doesn't make sense to me. You're spending a lot of money on a very expensive car that is quite low. I want to see the front. So Lamborghini, get on that. You've also got those sensors in the front, and I find that they're also really good, especially when it comes to detecting, how high the car is, or how low it is. You've got, wipers over there. You've got the little adjustments right over here. And of course, since the engine is in the back, this is where we also store our stuff. So let me just go and open this up. And this is how much space you have. Oh yes, indeed. It is not a lot, but I think you could put comfortably maybe four or five, grocery bags, just normal grocery bags. You've got these little pouches that are Velcroed on as well. It's on both sides. When you buy your Huracan, they also give you driving gloves. Really nice, really nice. We've also got a couple of other things, like an emergency, inflating kit and, like a spanner and so on. What this is, I'm not entirely sure, but then you've also got, your booklets and stuff. You also have a 12 volt just in case you want to charge something, although I wouldn't recommend charging too much because this is the type of car that when you leave it for a long time, you're going to want to trickle charge it so that you keep it nice and topped up. On the left-hand side, we've also got where you insert the window washer fluid. Let's go ahead and close this. And let's take a look at the right, or I should say the left profile. So we don't have chrome on this, no chrome at all. We do have those really lovely rims. Let me just get closer so that you can see, again, those nice close-ups that I enjoy looking at whenever I'm watching other people's YouTube videos too. You can see that you've got these really nice orange accents around the rim as well. And that is one big disc. Oh yes. Then you've got those indicators right on the left-hand side. This is so that you can ensure that you're following, certain guidelines depending on the country. In our country, you need to have those. Then you've got those mirrors, and they do not have a camera at the bottom. Sadly not, because we do not have bird's eye view. Then when it comes to the handle, as you can see right over here, you push and you pull, and that's how you open up the door. But we'll take a look at that in just a second. You've got these really nice scoops over here. I actually prefer the back of this over the front in terms of design. I really like it. Now, I'm not entirely sure if it's just the one that I'm pretty sure it's missing the Lamborghini logo right over there, but that's okay. That's fine. It's still a lovely car. I'm not gonna send it away. If we take a look at the back, That's what the design looks like, and this is the closest thing I'm ever going to get to a DeLorean. If you've seen those concept DeLoreans, yeah, they're very similar to this. So you take a look at those nice little that running light. They're like lasers, nice and slim. You've also got that brake light over there in the center. You've got those sensors. And then you've also got that reverse camera, which sadly isn't that great. If we take a look at the exhaust, and we're going to get close to that, you'll see that actually they've got a cover on their exhaust to make it look bigger. Now, somebody had said to me that these holes over here also help to give you a better sound, or at least a louder, I was gonna say larger, maybe larger and louder sound. So if you take a look back here, you've got a couple of different options. Of course, I haven't opened this up yet. We're gonna open it up later on, but that's where the engine is. Maybe we'll open it up. We'll see how it feels. So we're gonna get into the car or open up the door, and this is what the orange accents look like. If we take a look at the door itself, we'll see that we've got those orange accents right over there. We've got the suede over here. You've got the handle. You've got the open and close button right over here. This is how you control the different functions, such as the mirrors. And then if you wanted to close it, then you can turn it all the way to the bottom, then you get to auto fold, or you get to fold your mirrors. I've set it to auto fold at the moment. You've got your speakers right over here. Now, it doesn't have any branding on it, but they do sound really good. And you've got a tiny little pocket, so you can put like 3 pens in here if you wanted to too. In regards to this handle, I was kind of surprised because it's not metal, it's actually plastic. And you got leather, you got suede, you got metal, and then plastic. I felt like, why? Because you still know that even though it's plastic, they're still going to charge you an arm and a leg. Right over here on the sill, we can see it says Huracan. And we can see also on the door, just wanted to highlight that, you've got these side airbags, which is nice. So obviously if you're sitting really close to the door and somebody crashes into you, you want to make sure that these airbags can just kind of push everything away from you. Let's get into the car. And let me see, let me make sure I'm zoomed out as much as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the car just a little bit so that we don't have that sun in our face. So give me just a moment and I'll be right back. Alright, so that's much better. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by taking a look at the buttons on the left hand side, and we'll make our way to the right, and then we're going to talk about that screen so you can see the different customizations and options that we have available to us. So first of all, on the left hand side we've got a number of different switches, and they include the auto light, you've got headlamps, you've got the full beam, you've got fog lamps, and then you've also got the I guess the brightness of the screen or the odometer on the monitor in front of us. Apologize, I haven't played with everything. This is actually just, you know, been dropped off to me. On the left you can see that there are a couple of buttons. So the first button is to open the trunk, and the second one is to open up the hood. Now, if we take a look at the right hand side, we don't have any buttons over here, although we do have, you know, this hexagonal pattern that you can see everywhere. On the steering wheel itself, we've got this little button over here so we can flash people, like put your headlamps on full blast. This is how you signal, so you don't have an indicator stock, and the idea is so that you can always keep your hand in front of your face. I'm just going to put my seat back just a little bit so you might hear a bit of a sound. And if you want to signal to the left, you click to the left, and to the right, and to stop it you click inwards. Over here you've got a couple of different buttons, and now the first button is going to go ahead and change some of the options that you can see on the screen, which include when you have service, as well as the battery. You can see both the left and the right, the chrono and the average speed with the max speed. Then you've got the time and the date, and then the temperature, and that's pretty much it. Now at the bottom, this is an important button. This actually isn't really a button, it's more of a rocker. So you can change the different modes. You've got Strada, Sport and Corsa. I'm leaving it on Strada. I don't have any buttons over here, but that makes me feel like either they've just done this so that it looks perfect, and so that if you're in different countries, let's say your steering wheel's on the right hand side, then maybe they'll put these buttons over here and so on, or there might be some options that are missing. Over here, this is how you can also activate the window washer, and this is how you end up activating the wipers. You've got these two levers on the back, on the left and on the right, and this is how you will actually activate drive. By pulling this forward, it'll activate automatic drive, and then you can obviously put it in manual if you want to. In the center, you've got your AC right over here, made of plastic as well, which is kind of disappointing since, again, beautiful leather with this beautiful stitching and beautiful metal buttons and so on. I know that this is, you know, keeps things lighter, but it's just something that I wanted to mention. This is how you control the window, and the unusual thing is when you push up, it moves the window down, and when you pull it down, it moves the window up, so it's backwards. And when we take a look over here, this is how you raise and lower your car. You'll see there's a little indicator in yellow on the top left that you know that this car has been raised. So it's good that you've got this hydraulic system, especially if you're in a place that has lots of speed bumps. Then you've got ESC off. You've got the hazard lights, which is in red as well, which is like hazard. And then you've got the parking sensors. You've got the engine auto start stop, and I think by default it is on, and you have to manually turn it off each time. Then you've got the right passenger side's window. You'll see that you've got a screen over here, and this screen actually is multi-functional. So besides obviously showing you, you know, your oil and your battery limit, yeah, how much you've got left in your battery. Then when you adjust these, which is for the AC, you've got auto, interior circulation, you got the fan, heated seats, passenger heated seats, to control the direction of airflow, AC, and then you've got the defroster, I guess. Then this is how you adjust the temperature, and it'll change that screen on the top too. Now, what was interesting is that you don't go ahead and change the speed of the AC like you would in a normal car. It'll automatically decide the speed of the AC depending on how cold you want this room to be. So in this case, I'm saying I want it to be 24 so I can keep it quiet, and obviously the AC has gone down. Over here we've got the nav, menu button, telephone, info, back, and then car settings, and then you've got this knob here to adjust. Again, right lets you go left, and left makes you go right. They like to do things backwards, I guess, at Lamborghini. And then you've got these 4 buttons which correspond with the 4 areas of the screen right over here, which we'll talk about in a second. You've got radio, media, back, front, then power and adjusting volume, and then tone. When we go down, this is where we've got the start, engine, stop. So again, it's like a jet fighter. You just open that up, and then you can push this to turn it off. This is metal. Nice, not plastic. However, if you're too lazy to open this up every single time, although I feel so great whenever I do it, you can obviously push the button through the hole over here. Now, when it comes to going in reverse, you want to feel like you're pulling some thrusters or wind flaps or something. And so this is how you go in reverse. You tap the brake, and then you pull this back, and it'll go in reverse. Park, then you've got manual, and then you've got your handbrake right over here. Now, since we're moving back, this is the storage compartment, and within the storage compartment you can see that that's how much space you've got. Hardly anything, but of course you've got an adapter, which I think they provide you as well, so you can plug in a number of different things using their port. I'm not entirely sure why they went proprietary, but that's the way it goes. And then you've got a 12 volt right here in case you need it. So you're not going to be putting very much stuff in here, but you can if you want to. If we look at the back, we're like, hey, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. So you've got a CD player, and then you've also got 2 slots so you can put SD cards if you wanted to too. Now, let me just quickly grab my hat. I don't want to forget that, actually. This is the back view. So you've got glass right over here, and this is what you can kind of see, and that's just the way it is. When it comes to the glove box, let's open this up. That's how much space you have. And you also have, I guess, a valet mode right over here. And then you've got some adapters that they've provided. And of course, the Lamborghini logo. And the bottom, right over here, we've also got some space. And within the space, I'm going to try to squeeze in here. You can probably see that we've got this rubber mat. So if you wanted to, I guess you could put your mobile phone down there. Let me talk a little bit of a little touch that I actually like. See this? See the suede? It is nice that they've put it on this plastic bit right over here, so that when you're sitting down and you're a little bit more forward, you know, you've got something to kind of cushion your knee instead of hitting it on hard, cold plastic. Yes. So, now that we've gotten that all out of the way, oh, I'm sorry, I should also point this out. We've also got the lights, so that we can turn them on and off. It's set to auto at the moment, and just as I said, they like to do everything backwards, up is down, left is right, and so on. This is how you open up the sun guard. So it's actually pulls out towards you instead of the other way, so that's just the way it is. Let me put that down, and let's focus on this screen. If I zoom in just a little bit, I'm going to show you a couple of things. First of all, if I wanted to, I can change a different layout. Right now, I can see that I've got my RPMs, I've got some information, I've got the kind of like the digital screen right over here, I mean the info screen, rather than in the center that most people are used to. But if I go ahead and push this up button, and I click and hold, it will change that screen to show me the speed. And then if I press it again, it'll go back to RPMs. Now, if I wanted to, what I could also do is tap the bottom button right over here, and it'll change the screen. So press and hold. Now I've got only information in front of me, but I do still have the speed on the right hand side and some basic stuff. So it rearranges the stuff, and this is one of the nice things about, you know, having a digital screen. If I do that again, then I've got more of a track mode, and I can see my speed in front of me, or if I wanted to, again, put my RPMs. Nice. Oh, fuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this over to info mode so that we can play around with all the different settings and see what we have available to us. Now, I'm going to be using, as I said, these buttons right over here so that I can see what I have to play with. Now, if I tap on nav, it tells me that the system is not available, so I guess this is something that sadly I cannot play with. If I tap on menu, this is where I can see the usual menu. Again, I have to get used to left is right and right is left. We'll select car. I can see vehicle settings. Again, let me try to zoom in just a little bit more. I've got vehicle settings. I can select that. Exterior lighting, automatic headlights, and then lights for driving on the left. Let me go back. I've got a central locking system, unlock the doors, and fold the mirrors. I've just activated that. If I go to driver assist, I've got a speed warning. I guess it's very important, especially if you're driving a Huracan or Huracan or Hurricane, whatever you want to call it. You've also got a parking aid, so you can adjust the, you know, the display, the volume, the frequency from the, and you can actually adjust the difference between the front and the back. And then you've got a rain sensor. Let me go to servicing and checks. And so where we can see the tire pressure monitoring. Let's take a look at that. That's what it looks like right now. And I can store the values, wiper change position, chassis number, initialize keys. This is something that's very cool. And the main reason is because you can see how many keys are connected to this vehicle. In this case, it's 3. The reason why this is useful is somebody cloned your key, you'd be able to notice. If we go back, we've got the usual telephone mode, so I can see, you know, quick messages and so on, information about traffic, so I can go ahead and activate that. Now in this case I'm on TP memo. If I, again, as I mentioned, push this button over here that corresponds with the bottom right over there, then I can see settings and I can adjust the volume, the memo timer, and so on. So let me go back. We're gonna select media. And now within media, I can choose copy. And if I did choose copy, then I could copy tracks over to the jukebox and select it from a source, from the SD card to DVD, or the 4 different USB ports. I can also go to source, and I can decide between my jukebox, SD card, DVD, AMI, or Bluetooth device. And then I can see my play, pause, reverse, all that sort of stuff. And then in settings, I can adjust the Bluetooth settings, the jukebox memory status, or delete it. In this case, I've got 18 gigs of space. So let me go back again. Back. And then you've got the usual radio. We don't need to take a look at that. But if I take a look at tone, I can adjust this Gala setting, you know, it's through an equalizer, whether it's active or inactive. I just kind of makes it seem a little bit more, I don't know, realistic. Then I can adjust the bass, the treble, and the balance. And that is pretty much what I have available to me. And if I want to go ahead and select MMI, Then I can also see the different measuring units. I can select the language, measurement, factory settings, system updates, data encryption, version information, and that's it. We're done. If I wanted to tap on tone, then it'll just take me to tone as well. So one of the nice things is that yes, you can go ahead and select things from the screen in front of you if you wanted to, or you could select using these buttons right over here. Now, let me mention a couple of different things that I liked and I didn't like. So let me flip this over. Alright guys, so what did I like and what did I not like? First of all, in regards to the ride, I'm really surprised how smooth the ride is, because my daily sports car is an AMG GTS. I got it in 2016 and I love it. It's fantastic, it's beautiful, but this is so much smoother, especially over the bumps. So I could definitely see myself driving this more than I would a GTS on a daily basis. So that's number one. Number two, it actually handles amazingly well. So when I'm driving this car, I feel like the car is hugging the road. It almost feels like a video game when I drive this. And I can kind of understand why a lot of those gaming YouTubers go ahead and drive something like this car, because it does feel like a game. I'm talking from the audio to the steering wheel response and so on. It's a really fun car to drive. Now, sitting in it as well, it does feel really comfortable. Now, I should mention a couple of things that I really dislike. One, the fact that I don't have a front-facing camera. I really want this. You're spending, you know, what, $300,000 or however much it, you know, it costs, you know, at different spec. But I expect a camera in the front, at least in front. I don't need bird's eye view, but just give me that camera in the front. That's number one. Number two, I guess I don't like the reverse camera. Let me show you this real quick. Now, look at how slow it takes to actually turn on the reverse camera. So, gonna reverse. That takes a good like 2-3 seconds, so I don't know why there is a delay. That's number one. Now, it's nice that you can go ahead and see that in the info view. You can see everything so big, but can you see how low resolution that screen is? It's like, come on guys, that's crazy. So I really am disappointed with the resolution of that. Now, here's the thing. Most of the time when you're using this car, you're not going to have it in this mode. You're most probably going to have it in this mode. And again, you can see how the camera was slow, you know, to load up. But again, that's really tiny. So I wish that they had a bigger camera. But again, it's not one of those make or break things. It's just one of those things where I'm like, you know, we're spending a lot of money. Give me a better camera, guys. Now, one of the things that I wish I had was more storage space, but that's, again, one of the things that you have to give up when you are buying a car like this car. That's just the way it is, but I wish that I had more space. I also wish that we didn't have so much plastic in the car, but again, as I said, it keeps the car light, and I don't know, maybe use a better quality plastic? Maybe that's the choice. That's the option. That's the solution. Maybe. Now, there is one more thing that I felt was a little bit unusual. When I walk up to the car, it doesn't automatically like open up those handles so that I can open up the door, which I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? But I couldn't find a setting in the car. Maybe I just couldn't find it. If you have a Huracan or you know how to do it, let me know in the comment section below. But I've had to take out my key every single time and then unlock it. Now what happens is that after I've taken out my key, I then don't really have a place to put it unless I put it obviously back in my pocket. So, because there is hardly any space in this car. Now I know that's a first world problem, but I just wanted to share that feedback with you guys. But that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed this ride a lot. It's fun, it's cool, I feel like I'm in a cockpit, I feel like I'm in a fighter jet, and I want one. I want to know, what do you guys think? Should I get rid of my AMG GTS and get one of these? Let me know in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a like, because thumbs are free, but they mean a lot to me. And if you got any feedback so that I can improve my videos, let me know. Now, let's have some beauty shots.